Okay, so what I want to do here, I want to go in and finish rigging this claw. So the first thing I'm going to do, the set-driven key. Okay, so what I need on this controller, I need some kind of mechanism to open and close my claws. So let's go over here, and I'm in rigging. That doesn't work. I have to go to animation for this. And under key, there's a thing called set-driven key. Set. And this opens up the set-driven key. If you have the object you want to drive selected, it'll show up in the driven here. You can also, I could do it this way too, and grab this joint, and if I go over here to edit, you'll see that there's a set-driven key option right here, but it's grayed out. And if you come in, and I know that this one here, I can see the blue, so that means it's going to be a rotate Z. If I highlight it, then I go to edit, set-driven key. It opens up in the set-driven key, and the selected attribute is already loaded. Okay, and that way you don't have to go over to animation. But two different ways to do the exact same thing. Then when you do, oh, this here is my controller. And before I can, I need an attribute to control this joint. So I've got to go to modify, add attribute. And I'm going to call this one class. Okay. And I might give it a minimum, maximum, default. Okay, I kind of like these numbers because they're easy to remember. Okay. And now I'm just going to take this thing that's got the claws on here, and I'm going to load the driver, right? So always remember, do something with the driver, then you adjust the driven, and then you key it. Okay? If I take this and I go key, that's just put a keyframe on this joint. You see a little blue there, set-driven key blue. And then I'm going to take my claw control. Let's go and adjust the driver, adjust the driver. And then I'm going to go in and adjust the joint. And actually, let's hold down J while I'm rotating it. Okay. 60 degrees. It looks like it's going to crash right here. So, I'll say it's fine. Okay, and let's go in here, claws, so I'll check it out, middle click, and as I go down, okay, 10 to 0, I'm going to go to negative, maybe I want it to pinch just a little bit more. I could have chosen a different way to do this, but whatever, I'll do it like this. I'm just thinking that, come on you bastard, Dook, 15 degrees, doesn't really need that much for a 10, right? Anyway, we'll say that's good, and I'll key it. And I'll check it out. Okay. Looks like most of my work is going to happen between 0 and 10. The negative stuff doesn't really do much. But that gives us an opportunity to do some other things. And then I'll keep doing each one of these. So I'll do another one of these. Oh, come on, you bastard. Select that joint. And I go load driven, rotate Z. I'll check this out. I'm at negative 10, so I'm just going to take this. I'm going to 0 it. Okay. And then I'll go over here. This thing is already zeroed, and it's the rotate Z that I want to get. So I'll key it. And then I'll adjust this to 10. And then I go and I grab the joint. And you can select the joint over here, too. I'll just deselect it. You just hit this, and you can select the joint. And if I hold down J, and the J didn't work because I have to activate the window first. And then 60 degrees, key. Okay, and then, you know what? I'm going to start getting lazy in a minute. Okay, because I'm going to take this down to negative 10. And then I'll go and take this, and what was it? I think I did like 15 degrees. Oh, 15. Negative 15, you fool. There. Okay, and then I'll key it. But like I was saying, I'm starting to get lazy already, so I'm going to look for a way to do this even faster, because that's what I do. 0. And so I got those two joints here done. I'm going to grab them all the rest here, see if I can get them all done in one. Okay, and I'm going to load the driven. And so there's all the joints. Make sure they're all highlighted. Rotate Z. And we're at 0, so I can key this. Boop. And then I'll take this and go all the way up to 10. I'll take all these joints, and if I hold down J and I look for the Z axis, 60, key. Okay, and then I take this and I check 10 to 0, and I go down to negative 10. Make sure I take the joints here, and oh, they just want 115 degrees, and then it gives it this nice little pinch. Did I miss one? No, this one here, maybe I didn't do that. I'm going to load this for the driven, rotate Z. I'm just going to hold down J for it. You bastard. Hold down J for a second there and key it. Maybe I missed keying it or something like that. But now if I just check it out, clause 10, or negative 10 to 10. Okay, cool. And just for the hell of it, just to throw another wrench into this, maybe what I'll do is I'm going to see what happens if I grab my joints, and they all happen to have their y-axis pointing out. So this means I could do something else maybe, just for fun. What if I take this and at a value of 10, just go in, and where are you? I should just type in 0. There. Oh, you bastard. Just type in 0. There. And I'm going to go and play with these joints here for a second. I'm just going to grab them, and you don't have to do this. I'm just taking it a step further. If I go over here and I grab my translate Y, and I go ahead and I key it at 0, and then when I take these and I pinch them at negative 10, it might look cool if... I thought I had all these joints selected. Might look kind of cool. Just hold on a second. 0, there. Grab all the joints, load driven, there they all are, and I'm going to go to translate Z, and I'm going to key it, and then I take the clause, and I take this to negative 10. Maybe if I grab all these joints, and I find their, it wasn't the translate Z I wanted, you fool! Here, just hold on a second. Undo. Oh, actually, I just take all these joints here, and I'm just going to break this connection and fix it. Okay, because it's a translate freaking Y. And let's just see what happens. I go back here to 0. Okay, I go ahead. I'm going to key it so they're connected. And then I'll take this to negative 10. And I have all these joints selected, and they're translate Y. I'm just going to grab the move tool here. Actually, I don't even have to grab the move tool. What if I just highlight this? Translate Y shouldn't be going up. Actually, let's go and switch this. And reset tool, switch it to not world, object. And then we can pull along their y-axis. So as they pinch, they kind of pop out a little bit. I don't know. I just thought this might look cool. Okay, and I'm just going to reset the tool now and close it. And now I'll go ahead and key that. Boop. And let's see what that looks like. So when I grab the claws, yes. They just do a little bit of an extra translate on them. And if you want to adjust that, you can totally go into, what time are we at? 8:42. If you grab these joints, you take a look, you can find them inside of the graph editor. And you can see the graphs on these, the animation that I've put on. And you can see the rotation. Okay, so if you wanted to, for whatever reason, you can take this thing and make it rotate more. Let's go down to, say, 45 degrees. For all these, make it 45. Now they have a bit more of a rotation. They're going to overlap on each other. But then it might be kind of cool to take these things. You know what? I can't do that so easily, can I? I'd have to have the set-driven key thing open again while I do this. Uh-oh, and I hear one of my dogs freaking out. Anyway, maybe I'll have to reset it. What if I go and take this? Edit. I gotta go check. Okay, it was nothing. Anyway, if I come in here and these all seem to want to go along their y-axis. I'm going to call this good. Remember, if this gets confusing, just don't do it. Because then I have to go in here and, actually, screw it. World, switch it back, object. and I was looking for the translate Y. The translate Y is going to do weird things when I do this, but good. Go over here, translate Y, and okay, boop, key. And that will just write over whatever I had there, and we'll just double check and make sure I'm not crazy. And that didn't work at all. Let's undo that. Okay, I'm being distracted too much. Okay, so got the clause opening and closing. That's the big deal. Okay, great. And then what else do I want? Let's see, we don't need to have this thing. I'm just going to hide that. And I'm going to bring back this other stuff in here. What time at 2:55? Okay. And let's see. Do I want to make a separate video for this? No. Do it all in one. I want to put in joints for the shocks. And if I go ahead and let's go and put this to hide that thing. Okay, I got to get some joints in here. So I'm going to go over here to rigging, skeleton, create joints. Dook. There. And I created one joint, and I'm happy. I should name it. I might even just do that really quick. Piston 01. Okay. And I'm just going to go and position this one. You can make them a bit bigger too, the radius. You can adjust it so they're easy to see. And if I hold down V and I go this way, and I go this way, I'm doing that in the front view. And if I make a duplicate, that's now called, that one there is now called piston 2. And I'm holding down D, and or I'm just holding down V rather, and there we go. I might as well make all the rest of them too. V, dook. Great. Just making duplicates, holding down V, positioning it just with these two axes, not the center because it'll go all screwy. Okay. And what I'm going to do in this case here is take this and this, and I'm going to go up into, let's see, you can see that there's a little blue line right here, so that's the axis center. It's pointing out. So I can see the blue is pointing out this way, and I can see that the Y is pointing up. Okay, and I want the Y's to point at each other. So I'm going to go to constrain, and I'm going to go into aim. And in aim, let's see, I've already done this, so I'm going to go edit, reset settings. I'm going to take the aim vector, I'm going to zero it out on X, and then this one's Y, so I'm going to make it point on Y. World up vector, or actually the up vector here is set to Y, so that would be bad, so I'm going to make it Z. And make that 0. There we go. And when I hit apply, boop, one joint will point at the other one. Okay, great. And then I'll take this one. So I select them in the opposite order. Apply. Actually, I think I just paired and did it in the same order again, didn't I? This one here is one with the constraint on it. Then this one. There we go. Okay, so they're pointing at each other. And they've got their up vectors here. Great. And if I take this joint and I take this piece of geometry and I skin it with the selected joints on, boop. And I'll take this one, I'll hit G, do the same thing. This joint here, I'd like it to follow this joint around, so I'm going to parent it. I just press P on the keyboard. I'll take this one, and then this one, and I'll press P. Okay, so I've got those all in place. And let's go and do that with this one as well. So I select this joint, I select this joint, and I do the same constraint that I had. Aim. Select this one, and that one, do it in the opposite order, constrain, aim, and then this one here is going to be parent to that piece. Boop. And then this one here is going to be parented to that joint there. P. And so I've got those aiming at each other. Oh, did I I don't know if I bound this. I didn't bind it, so I'm going to go skin, bind skin. That one, skin, bind skin. And let's check it out. Does it work? Yes, it does. Actually, one thing I didn't think about. Do I have a problem with this when I go and I rotate it? If I rotate it and I hold down J, I do. I have to do this one different. Actually, well, I should have done this right from the beginning. I just realized there's a problem. When I rotate this, if I rotate along the bottom here, like what I was doing, you can see that it's starting to twist and freak out. And that's not what it's supposed to do. And it's because it's pointing on the Z. I'm just going to pause. Okay, I just went and I did a quick little check on something, and I went, okay, well, there's a good solution. This little elbow control, it's going to help me out. I'm just going to go into the attribute editor. I hit Control A, brought that up. And with this joint, it's got a point constraint on it. Probably going to find 4 of these in total. Okay, piston 01 aim constraint. And right here it says world up type. We have that on vector. Instead of vector, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to object up, object rotation up. And when I do that, I can come in here. There's a world up object. And if I type in the name of elbow control, okay, what's going to happen is it's going to base the rotational axis off that. So if I'm getting any weird popping, I can control it. And I'll do the same thing to this one, and that one's got aim constraint number 2. Okay. Piston number 2, aim constraint. And I'll do the same thing, flip it over to object rotation up, go in here, and I'll paste in the name elbow control, hit enter, and we'll just test it out in case I'm lying. If I go in here and I hold down, or if I don't hold down anything, I just rotate it, you can see these things are locked solid. Okay? So they're using the rotation of this thing to figure out their position. And I'll do the same for this one. Come on, you bastard. There. That's number 3. Vector, object rotation up, Control V, enter, and I'll do the same thing for that one, and that's piston number 4, aim constraint, switch it, object rotation up. There. And we're at the 17-minute mark. Good. Okay, and I've got that done. That's fixed. And just to double check, I'm just going to grab this and rotate it around. And maybe, you know what, I should also, the skeleton group, I'm just going to find that skeleton group, and I'm going to put that onto a layer. And on the layer, let's call it skeleton layer. Skeleton underscore layer. And there. Okay. If I hide it, then we can just kind of look at just the geometry as we're doing things. If I rotate around, everything should be solid. Okay, wonderful. And actually this layer here, if I just right click, I can delete that one out of here. That was for these cables so that I didn't have to see them while I was doing the other things. Oh, and I should save right now. Save scene as. I just noticed something that keeps happening to me, and it seems like underscore set driven. Just before I start to crash, something weird happens and my cursor gets locked onto what I'm doing. There. So, I got one more thing to take care of, are these cables. Okay? And I'm doing a really cheap way out of this. Okay? Really cheap. Let's go in here and look at this, and I'll just go to this one here. I'm going to go to skeleton, create joints. And I'm going to create some joints. Let's see. Have 1, maybe 2 here. And these are going to be kind of solid. And then I'll come my way up over here. I can get them right into the middle. There's all sorts of tricks I can show you, but I'm trying to keep these tricks to a minimum at this point, because this is an intro kind of assignment. Let's go and put it there. Okay, and I'll hit enter. So I got this big chain of joints. They're separate, and I should name them, right? There, I should name all these things. Remember, if you want to do a fast naming thing, if you select them all, and then you go up here, there's a little thing hidden away, rename, hidden up in here. And I can just call that like cable 1 underscore JNT. There, and then I got them all named. Fast! Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to skeleton. I got the IK handle tool on sticky. I'm going to not place it at the first one. I'm going to place it at the second one. Okay. Actually, you know what? I almost feel like, here, let's just not do that. Let's go and do it so we're actually going up to the third one. I'm going to go to this one up here, and I'm going to go to the final one right there. That's going to make it so I can do stuff with that rotational axis up there. And now if I move this around, you'll see it moves. Wonderful. I'm going to select this whole chain of joints here. Come on. And I'll grab this piece of geometry, and I'll do that skin thing, bind skin. Okay, it's doing it to selected joints. I could have done joint hierarchy because this thing's separate right now. Okay. And I'm going to bring back the skeleton for a second. And let's see, this joint right here should probably be parented to that thing. Boop. There. And then this one, we don't need anything parented. We need this IK handle to follow this joint here. So we could do this a couple different ways. We could parent it in, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to grab the IK handle last, and I'm going to put that into a parent constraint. So it's going to follow that joint around. Now let's just see what happens when I grab this controller. Whoop. Okay, and we're seeing a little problem too. You can see that the joint right up here isn't following this joint. So let's just undo that. And just for fun, I'm going to grab this joint again, then I'm going to grab this one, and I'll give that one a parent constraint. So it's not directly, oh, you bastard. Grab this one last. And what do I have to think about? How about if I put this on, how about instead of the parent constraint, maybe the parent constraint is giving me something weird here. I'm going to go into the orient constraint, boop, and see what happens. Because I think the IK handle is controlling the point, so the rotation is the thing I'm really worried about. So let's see if that worked. And I had the maintain offset on for that one too. And there we go, that totally works. My God. And I just got to do it one more time and finish the video. So if I go to skeleton, create joints, and 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to go as close to the center as possible. And I should probably put the IK handles into the do not touch group. And okay, good. Enter. And let's go to skeleton. I'm going to create the IK handle tool. I'm going to go up probably to here. And I think I'm going to go to that one. Great. This joint here should be parented to that thing. P. This joint here is actually the IK handle. Should be parented to actually this joint. P. And then I had to grab this joint here and that joint and constrain them with an orient with the maintain offset. Boop. And also, if I grab this set of joints here, and I can't see them in here, let's just quickly go in here. Boop, boop. And where is it? They're in here. So if I right click and I expand all, there's my series of joints for this cable. Grab all those, hold down Shift, grab that piece of geometry, skin it, boop. And something funny just happened here. What did I just do? Okay, I did something stupid, so I had to reverse. It looks like I grabbed the joint, not the IK handle, when I parented it in here. So I wanted this, I grab the IK handle, and I give that a parent constraint, right? And then I went in and I select the series of joints, that joint, and I give that an orient constraint. And it's telling me I already did that. Hold on a second, where is the IK handle? The IK handle is not constrained in here. Okay, so we're going to do it this way. I guess I did the joint instead. And here. I gotta get rid of this stuff, break that connection. Great. And grab this, grab the IK handle, and perform a point constraint, parent constraint. And when I did that, everything twitched. I'll pretend that's what I wanted. And let's go in here for a second. Somehow the geometry moved. I'm going to have to go back and take a look at this, but we got the general idea. Skin, boop, and let's just see if that worked. When I grab this and I grab the move tool, yay! And so, and if I rotate it, yeah, it stays kind of locked down here, and that's what I wanted. I was trying to do this super fast, and I think I'm going to leave it right around there. And stop.